Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorite films of all times, but in the 2020s, Wes Anderson's films have not moved me in the slightest. His set of Netflix shorts almost all missed for me. The French Dispatch and Asteroid City can be fun at times, but I think he just really enables phenomenal performances, and that's kind of where it ends for me. I knew nothing about the Phoenician Scheme going in, but Wes Anderson is a director I respect, still not liking his recent projects because his ambition is just so high. So obviously I was a little excited going in, and I ended up enjoying this movie a little bit more than I expected. It's not without some classic Wes Anderson flaws in my opinion, but nevertheless, the Phoenician Scheme follows Sasa Korda, a wealthy businessman making his only daughter the sole heir to his estate in the midst of becoming a target to scheming tycoons, foreign terrorists, and assassins. I want to start off with the absolute best thing about this film, and that is Benicio del Toro at the lead. He plays Zaza Korda, who is the wealthy businessman, and I think the opening of this film is so funny. Like, it is so abrupt, it is so insane, it's so brutal, and it's so fun. I think it works perfectly, and I think that is really the brisk pace that Wes Anderson works for me at. I really thought that elements of this film flowed perfectly, and all of that came from Benicio del Toro's performance and his dynamic with, and I'm going to completely pronounce this actress' name wrong, Mia Therapelton. She plays his daughter, who is also a nun, and I think thematically, the division between wealth and finding God and understanding this dynamic of becoming a different type of person due to wealth, I think that's a really interesting thing to talk about, especially in the format that Wes Anderson likes to explore his movies in. Like, The French Dispatch for me just felt really hollow in general, and I think that's just what an anthology-esque film always will do to me. But I saw a little bit of core humanity and the ideas that Asteroid City was trying to talk about. But here it finally feels like, and through the lead performance of Benicio del Toro being absolutely phenomenal, we are getting to some actual substance. There is a thematic core that works much better than I expected. It's not that every actor here is giving phenomenal range. I mean, I think the smaller performances, I mean, we know that Wes Anderson always has an A-list cast. This one includes Scarlett Johansson, Riz Ahmed, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Benedict Cumberbatch, Willem Dafoe, the list goes on and on and on. I think everyone is really, really fun. Benedict Cumberbatch specifically surprised me. Obviously, he was a big part of all of the shorts. I really want to see Dev Patel in here, by the way. I did not know the cast going in, closed my eyes during the opening credits because I kind of wanted it to be a surprise, and Dev Patel didn't end up being in it, which is kind of sad. But yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is really, really great. Everyone else serves the story purpose well enough, and that's one thing I really, really like about this story is that it is able to, through a bunch of different chapters, and I think the chapters work really well. I think the evolution of the story works really well. This might be crazy to say, and I feel like most Wes Anderson fans will probably disagree with me, but this is probably his most narratively structured film in the last like 5 to 6 years. And I think that's just inherently why I liked it a lot more than his other recent projects. I think the journey to get there was a little bit weird. It was a little bit too slow, and I just don't really think it needs to be as meditative as he thinks it does. I think my bar for Wes is just so low in terms of a film being narratively super strong, and this one has a pretty good core and it has a pretty good story structure, which inherently made me like it a little bit more than I expect. Michael Cera is also in this film. He plays Borjuk. I don't know how to pronounce it. My friends hyped this performance up to me a lot going in, and I understand why people would find it funny. It's just not really my humor. And speaking on the humor, after The French Dispatch, after Asteroid City, I don't know what it is about these recent Wes Anderson movies, and I hate to keep going back on this, but I haven't really talked about the other films, so that I'm kind of taking my time while I can. This dry, really static humor doesn't work for me at all. Like I mentioned at the top of this video, Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorite films of all time, and that film has none of that. And this is where I'm going to get into the superficial depth of the whole Wes Anderson thing, and this might be a hot take. People, crucify me, I don't give a shit. I know everyone hated that trend on TikTok where everyone's like, let's Wes Andersonify my life or whatever the hell. The simple music, the symmetrical composition, the fact that that isn't even a lie, it just shows that like there is no evolution with that. Like, yes, his sets are beautiful. Yes, his sets are insanely detailed. And yes, the technical craft of being able to modularized. That's not even a real word. The technical brilliance of his filmmaking is not being denied by me, but it's more so the utilization of it. This isn't something necessarily super present in this movie, but I think that's why it works. And in the moments that it is there, where we have these massive interior shots, where we have 10 seconds of a character walking into screen, sitting down, staring at each other, and another 5 seconds before they start talking, and then they speak for 2 seconds, and then he gets up, spends 10 seconds walking out, and then we get to the next scene. I don't get the point of any of that at all whatsoever. But to each their own. You know, I could definitely see how that meditative nature could make someone more engrossed in the characters, create more of a mystery around the story. For me personally, it just never really works like that. At the end of the day, The Phoenician Scheme is easily the best Wes Anderson film of the 2020s, but I still don't think it's nearly a perfect film by any means. I think Benicio del Toro absolutely carries, and the other performances throughout really just keep you engaged in the narrative structure of the film. Overall, I'm gonna give The Phoenician Scheme a 6.5 out of 10. If you've seen or want to check out this movie, please let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Subscribe so you don't miss out on more movie reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.